Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about something I've never talked about before. And this is what is known as semen retention, and why this is the most powerful way to become a conscious creator of your reality. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a key that's going to help you get to a point where you transmute this sex energy into something that is going to become a very, very powerful force for you in your life and in your manifestation. So make sure you stick around till the end completely. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program with me personally is open. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up, or wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about semen retention. Now, this is a very, very sensitive topic for some of you, but also I've been getting a lot of questions about this. So really, I want to get deep into this topic. So what you got to understand about semen retention is nowadays, because of how we've been conditioned, how we've been raised, as I mentioned in the last video, you can click up here to check that out. We value instant gratification over delayed gratification. So it feels good to get this spike up, this high. That's why we engage in behaviors that are catered more to the lower pleasures of life. Okay, so masturbation, jerking off is very, very common in teens, more and more. And if you look at internet, most of it is, tailored to pornography or sex. Basically, sex sells. Everything is just tailored around that. So with that said, what you got to understand is that masturbation is a compulsive behavior. Most of the time when you engage in, spilling your seed, you are engaging in compulsive behavior. Anytime you get compulsive, you automatically become a slave to life rather than a master over it. Really think about this. Anytime you see that, whether it be with binge eating, whether it be doing some activity that you just completely love doing and you just can't stop it, like playing video games excessively, anything that you do excessively is going to lead to more and more compulsion. It is going to lead you into the cycle of compulsion. Napoleon Hill had a great book about this. It's called Outwitting the Devil. And he talks about the law of hypnotic rhythm. And if you keep getting into this hypnotic rhythm more and more, what happens is eventually over time, you can't get out of it, right? So this is the biggest problem. When you get so deep down into this rabbit hole, it will be difficult, increasingly difficult for you to get out of it. So anytime you engage in compulsive behavior, you have to be very, very mindful. Literally, you have to look at your life right now. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a key to help you do this. But literally, you're going to have to look at your life and see where it is you're being compulsive. And also, what you've got to understand is that nowadays we're valuing the lower pleasures of life over the higher pleasures. Now, I'm all for pleasure. I love pleasure. Pleasure is great. But we're valuing the lower pleasures of life, like eating good food and eating a nice hamburger, some spicy, some flavorful food, or, getting our fix through drugs, or, masturbating and getting that release. This is something that I need to do. I mean, it's crazy. Society has conditioned us to believe that this is something that we need to do to get our release. We've started to believe that this is truly something that we need to do. And when I was younger, in my teens, I used to truly believe that. I used to believe that, this is something that I need to do. This is just normal. Everyone does it. And this is how you become part of the herd, part of the masses. Right? You start to get into like-minded pendulum way of thinking. So we start to value these lower pleasures of life over the higher pleasures. And really you'll see that when you start to value the lower pleasures, like having excessive sex, excessive masturbation, excessive drugs, what happens is you get a spike of dopamine, right? So you get a spike of good emotion, but then when the event goes away, you're never able to sustain it. It's like you're trying to become one with it, but no matter how hard you try, you just can't become one with it. You can't keep that experience alive. So you try to hold on to it as much as you can. Higher pleasures of life refer to things that give you this sustained long-term high. So something like, me sacrificing eating unhealthy or watching Netflix and instead going to the gym and eating healthy, I'll see that over time this work will build up my muscles. As a result of that, I look at my muscles and I feel gratification. So the muscles stay with you for a very long time, as long as you maintain it. Longer than the Netflix or the unhealthy food, right? So you look at the muscles and now you're getting this longer term gratification. When I sacrifice this short term pleasure for a longer term pleasure, and longer term pleasures are the higher pleasures of life, that's when you start to really experience the lack of trade-off. And what I mean by that is there's always a trade-off with the lower pleasures. Okay, so you always have to give it up. You experience it now and then you give it up later. And it's like never enough. You have this insatiable hunger. It's never going to be enough. No amount of drugs is going to make you feel the way you would if you were to do a meditation and were to get into a really deep trance state, right? Even when you do work and you get into flow state with it, that's when you start to feel the same emotions as you would from drugs, except there is no trade-off to it. You don't have to sacrifice something to get into that flow state. So what you got to do is always seek the higher pleasures of life over the lower pleasures. I'm all for pleasure, but if this pleasure is going to be something that leads to your detriment and you have a trade-off, something to pay off for it, like, let's say with alcohol, you have the hangover the next day. With cocaine, you also have that hangover the next day. With any drug, you will see there's always a trade-off. With anything external that you put into your body to feel a certain way, and you can't generate it internally, there's always going to be a trade-off. You can truly get into meditative states, feel the same way as you would, as though you were drunk, and sustain that state and maintain your full state of awareness. Okay? So now what I want to share with you is that in yoga, semen is referred to as virya. So Veerya. And now virya literally translates to vajra or thunderbolt. Vajra is thunderbolt. Virya means courage. When you have virya, which is your semen, and you retain it, what happens is you're keeping more and more of the life source. So what they say is it takes 40 units of blood to make 1 unit of semen. 40 drops of blood for 1 drop of semen. When you sustain this life source, this life force within you, possibilities start to open up for you. More and more consciousness becomes available to you. When you become conscious, you become a creator. Okay? When you eliminate all compulsive behavior, naturally all there is left is consciousness, right? So retaining your semen actually gives you the possibility of transmuting that sexual energy. When you transmute this sexual energy, you can put it into work, your business, your creative work, whatever it may be. If you study the lives of all creative people, you'll see that they were never excessively, addicted to anything. They weren't compulsively doing anything. Those who were able to cultivate success and actually maintain it and not lose it, right? So their lifestyle was catered in such a way that every unit of energy was transmuted into one direction. This is why sacrificing distractions is so effective. This is the process of inversion. If you want to get to consciousness, just eliminate compulsions. If you want to get to focus, just eliminate distractions. If I don't stock up my fridge with junk food, there is no temptation that's going to be there. If the nearest, fast food store is 1,000 miles away from me, the likelihood of me driving to that fast food store is very, very low. So there is no way I'm going to do that. The activation energy for this temptation to happen is very high. It takes a lot of energy to actually relapse. So that's what you want to get yourself to as well. Okay? So eliminate compulsion, consciousness ensues. And now I want to share with you a key that's going to help you get to a point where you're able to retain your semen, get to a point where you're able to actually keep your own consciousness to yourself and become this conscious creator of your life. And the biggest key is to just watch your behavior from the third person. Really watch your behavior. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to masturbate. It's not a bad thing to have sex. What's bad is when it controls you, right? There's no good or bad. We start to become subjective about this. Ask yourself, is this behavior optimized for who you would like to become? What you would like to achieve in your life? Ask yourself, are you striving for the lower pleasures of life or the higher pleasures of life? What would you rather have? What's more important to you? If you'd rather have the lower pleasures of life, then this video is not for you. You can just, click off right now. But if you're actually looking for the higher pleasures of life, looking for something that's actually beyond this life, then you got to get to a point where you get very, very observant of your own behavior. And ask yourself, are you compulsive with any single activity that you do? Is this activity bringing you to more and more compulsion or more and more freedom? Right? So is this running you? And begin cutting it down. If it is, begin cutting it down. So to give you an example, with masturbation, 2 years ago, what I did was I went from doing it every day to doing it once a week. I went from watching pornography every single day to not watching it at all. Because what that thing does is it ruins your mind. It wires your mind in such a way. It's absolutely crazy. If you just look up any sort of article on what pornography, the effect of pornography has on you, because it gets you so compulsive. It gets you so wired in. Right? It gets you so wired in that you start to get every single, you get a crazy dopamine spike from it. An absolutely insane dopamine spike. And then afterwards, it leaves you drained. This is the trade-off I was talking about. And I went from that once a week to not doing it at all. And I saw that my life absolutely changed. When I stopped thinking about sex 24/7, I saw that I had more energy to think about things that actually matter to my long-term growth. Such as my business, such as family, such as my relationship. I'm not saying that this is something you have to completely give up, but ask yourself this, would it be worth it for you to give up? If you were to achieve all of the goals you wanted to achieve, you will see that your ability to manifest naturally will go up. If you just start practicing, semen retention. If you just start practicing giving up compulsions. I mean, if you're a female watching this also applies to you because compulsions are just compulsions, right? I don't care if it's masturbation and semen retention, but if you're compulsive about anything in your life, a certain unit of energy is going to be tied up into that. So you have to get very, very observant of your own behavior. What are you compulsive about right now? What is running you? What can't you step back from? With that, I conclude this video. So just to recap, any compulsive behavior will make you a slave to life. Any conscious behavior will make you a master over life. We start to seek the lower pleasures of life over the higher pleasures. Work on seeking the higher pleasures of life, delaying gratification rather than getting instant gratification. Semen translates to virya, and virya means courage. It takes 40 drops of blood to produce 1 drop of semen. This literally is half of the genetic material required to make a whole human being. So can you imagine how powerful this is? This is literally the life source. It's prana. If you retain it, you'll become more lively within yourself. There are crazy benefits to it, which I'm not going to discuss here. You can just get it from a Google search. But what you've got to understand is that this very one thing, if you start to retain it more and more, if you were to spend at least 30 days, just go on no fap or, just retain it completely. I promise you, life will completely change. What retaining does is it gives you the power of transmutation. That energy that was once locked in to you thinking about sex, to you thinking about the next time you're going to do this, to you, being compulsive about having sex, is now available for you to focus and channel into other areas of your life. You don't have to do anything for this to happen. All you have to do is just retain it. And all of these other avenues of your life will start to open up. Things that you've never seen before. It's going to be hard. It usually is very, very difficult because it's kind of like going through withdrawal from drugs. But if you take it slowly, or you can do it cold turkey, whatever, you'll see that your life will change. You got to understand the process of inversion. So eliminate compulsion, consciousness ensues. Eliminate distractions, focus ensues, right? So ask yourself, what can you eliminate to make you a powerful creator of your reality? This is the single most powerful thing you got to know. Anytime you get to more and more consciousness, you become a powerful creator of your reality. Things you wanted to manifest, manifest instantly. Manifest faster. Why? Because you're getting to more and more consciousness. Consciousness literally means I have the choice. I can choose. I'm not bound to this. This doesn't control me. I control it. That's what consciousness means. And the key is watch your own behavior from the third person and observe. Take a period of a week. What sort of things were you predominantly focused on? What thoughts were you cultivating? What actions were you doing? At this time every single day, what do you do? See what you need to eliminate. Okay? Any behavior, any action you're doing, is this serving you? Is this running you? Or are you running it? If you're being controlled by it, you got to get rid of it. It's as simple as that. So with that, I conclude this video. I sincerely hope this helped. I know this was a different kind of video, so I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. And also, let me know, if you'd like me to make any other videos on other topics as well. I'm super excited to announce, by the way, that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery Program is open, as I mentioned. And if you didn't know what the Reality Mastery Program is, it's essentially the most powerful paradigm of manifestation. See, what I've seen in my personal life was that apart from getting more and more conscious, what I had to do was change my internal world. Not at the surface level, where most people try to, work on their emotions or work on their beliefs, but really at the very, very core, which is the identity level. Once I did that, I saw that every single thing that I wanted in my life happened effortlessly. I didn't have to fight and struggle anymore, but rather the work that I needed to do to get it came naturally, right? So it was just who I became. So to give you an example, when I wanted to get over my social anxiety, become more confident, get a larger friend circle, and even manifest my ideal relationship, I saw that I had to become that version of Quasi that is worth all of that. As I did that, I met my dream partner, got married to her, having the best relationship of my life right now. When I saw that I wanted to make money in my life and actually give value to the world, find my passion, I shifted into that entrepreneur version of Quasi. Started making more money than I thought would ever be possible from sitting in my desk, right? So I know all of this is possible for you as well, because we're helping our clients do this in their lives every single day. So if you're interested, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up. Hope I see you there. Also, make sure you check out our free Facebook group as well. It's a great community of great members. That's also in the link in the description below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. With that, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.